did, Sam. Oh, yeah?
Good. So coordinated that he happens to be here.
Oh, good, good. How are you? Good, thank you. Good to see you, Sam. How are you? Good evening, sir. Good to see you.
Professor Sharma.
How are you?
My son Anand.
Hi, Anand. How are you?
It's a privilege. Thank you.
Hi, how are you, Anil?
So nice to see you.
Yes, we met you already, haven't we? Is Sam already here? No.
But I'm glad it happened. And in future, I will make sure that I email you.
How are you? Good to see you again.
You all set?
Hi, Shashi. How are you? Hey, Shashi, how are you, my friend? Good to see you. How are you? Yes, sir. Good to see you. Hello. Long time no see. You well? Sure. Very good. Hi. She's here.
अज्ञानता से हमें तार दे माँ, हे शारदे माँ, हे शारदे माँ, अज्ञानता से हमें तार दे माँ। तू स्वर्ग की देवी है, संगीत तुझसे, हर शब्द तेरा है, हर गीत तुझसे। तू स्वर्ग की देवी है, संगीत तुझसे, हर शब्द तेरा है, हर गीत तुझसे। हम हैं अकेले, हम हैं अधूरे, हम हैं अकेले, हम हैं तेरी शरण हम, हमें तार दे माँ, हे शारदे माँ, हे शारदे माँ, अज्ञानता से हमें तार दे माँ, अज्ञानता से हमें तार दे माँ, अज्ञानता से हमें तार दे माँ।
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is a real pleasure and privilege to welcome Mr. Sam Pitroda and Dr. Shashi Tharoor together at ILM. ILM started the Distinguished Global Thinker Award in 2006. The award was a modest contribution of the ILM family to what we all believed was the felt need of this country, to recognize the thinkers of our times whose ideas and statements made a dent in public understandings and discussions of great issues and concerns of our planet. The idea was to provoke and inspire the faculty and youth who listened to their special lecture in this hall. Mr. Pitroda you have greatly honored us by agreeing to accept the 7th ILM Distinguished Global Thinker Award. Most of us remember your close association with the late Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi in 1980s. Sir, you were instrumental in laying the foundation for India's technology and telecommunication revolution. The fact that we enjoy one of the best telecom networks in the world is largely because of the work done at that time. Currently, as advisor to Prime Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh, Mr. Pitroda has the ambitious task of providing a blueprint for creating the digital infrastructure in our country, for enhancing governance and for improving delivery of public services. An inventor par excellence, a true visionary, Dr. Pitroda is one who, through his hard work and discipline, has shown us to the world the power of one individual in bringing social and economic change. Dr. Tharoor. Dr. Tharoor, thank you for agreeing to preside over the function this evening. We welcome you as chair of the jury, as a past distinguished awardee, and above all, as a friend. 3 years ago, you had questioned our judgment in making our selection. You had expressed your reservation saying, "I fear you are giving this award to someone who is neither distinguished, no longer very global, and who rarely enjoys much time to think." Let me assure you, sir, that our judgment was sound. You continue to be most distinguished, truly global, and a great thinker. This year we celebrate ILM's 20 years of existence. Founded in 1993 by my father-in-law, the late Dr. Kulwant Rai, ILM is one of the leading business schools in India, offering undergraduate and postgraduate management education. We started with 60 students. Today we have 5 campuses with over 5,000 students. Before I end, I want to quote a line from Dr. Tharoor's special lecture, which has stayed with me. Speaking of India, you had said, "We wish to see a world that is more equitable, that allows more voices to be heard, that allows more players to have a part in that classic spirit of Vasudevaya Kutumbakum, and we are all one family, and we have to sort out that family's business together." Your words could not be more true today. Thank you. I now invite Professor Sushi Parashar to read out the citation in honor of Sam Pitroda.
Satyanarayan Gangaram Pitroda, Sam Pitroda, as he is popularly known, is an internationally respected development thinker, policy maker, telecom inventor, and entrepreneur who has spent over 4 decades in information and communications technology and related human and national development initiatives. He is currently advisor to the Prime Minister of India on public information infrastructure and innovations. He is also the chairman of the National Innovation Council, where he has been spearheading the work on creating a roadmap for a decade of innovation in India. He is also the chairman of an expert committee set up to review the functioning of Prasar Bharati by the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting. Mr. Pitroda is also the chairman of the Smart Grid Task Force set up under the aegis of the Ministry of Power, Government of India. He has also been appointed one of the founding commissioners of the United Nations Broadband Commission for Digital Development. He is also part of an empowered committee on the promotion of semiconductor wafer fabrication manufacturing units in India. He headed the expert group on the modernization of railways, which submitted its report in 2012. He is also working with the Law Ministry and other stakeholders for enhancing the use of ICT in justice for improving delivery of justice. Born in Titlagarh, Odisha on 4th May 1942, his parents hailed from Gujarat and migrated to Odisha. The third among 7 siblings, he was deeply influenced by Mahatma Gandhi and his philosophy. He completed his schooling from Vallabh Vidyanagar in Gujarat and his Masters in Physics and Electronics from Maharaja Sayaji Rao University in Vadodara. Thereafter, he obtained a Master's in Electrical Engineering from Illinois Institute of Technology, Chicago. Throughout the late 1960s and early 1970s, Mr. Pitroda was involved in cutting-edge research work in telecommunications and handheld computing. In 1987, he became advisor to Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi and was responsible for shaping India's foreign and domestic telecommunications policies. He started the Center for Development of Telematics, CDOT, and was largely responsible for the ubiquitous public offices. During his tenure as advisor to Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi, Mr. Pitroda headed 6 technology missions related to telecommunications, water, literacy, immunization, dairy, and oilseeds. He was also the founder and first chairman of India's Telecom Commission. In the 1990s, Mr. Pitroda returned to Chicago to manage his business interests. When the UPA government came to power in 2004, Prime Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh invited him to head the National Knowledge Commission. He served in this capacity till 2009. He was a recipient of the Padma Bhushan Award in 2009. In 2011, the International Telecommunications Union conferred on him the World Telecommunication and Information Society Award. An entrepreneur, he is the founder and chairman of CSAM. As an inventor, he holds close to 100 worldwide patents. IILM is honored to confer the Global Thinker Award 2013 on Mr. Sam Pitroda. May I request our chairperson, Mrs. Malvika Rai, to confer the 7th IILM Global Thinker Award on Mr. Sam Pitroda. May I now request Mr. Pitroda to deliver his special lecture, Knowledge, Technology and Innovation Transforming the 21st Century.
Mrs. Rai, Dr. Shashi Tharoor, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. It is indeed a special privilege to be here in front of you. One, to accept the award, and two, to have an opportunity to talk about knowledge, technology, and innovations in the 21st century. I want to thank the organizers for giving me this opportunity. I want to thank judges for selecting me. I'm really not a global thinker, and like Sasi said, I'm also not a very global person, but I do travel between US and India every 3 weeks. And I've been doing it for many, many, many years. So it is indeed a special privilege to talk about knowledge, technology, and innovations. 3 very important subjects, 3 very timely topics, and 3 areas where I believe destiny of mankind would be carved out in the 21st century. There are so many things that I'd like to talk about, I really don't know where to begin. I normally don't prepare any speeches. I just look at faces and decide what I want to say. So if you look happy, I sort of go in one direction. If you look very unhappy and confused, I go in other direction. So keep smiling. I would like to begin by first saying that we are indeed living in the most interesting and exciting times ever in the human history. What is happening today in terms of internet web is nothing short of miracle. Nothing like this has ever happened for the last 15,000 years. 15,000 years ago, we invented language. And today what is going on is even more powerful than the language itself. And I want to build this whole conversation based on what's happening with the web, because it has far-reaching implications on knowledge and innovations. Technology has indeed given us a great deal of benefits in the last 50, 60 years. Longevity has increased, infant mortality has decreased, transportation, communication has enhanced substantially, and technology offers lot many more unique opportunities for the next several decades to come. I have always said for the last 25 years that technology is a great social leveler, second only to death. Technology can indeed put two unequal human beings on equal footing. There is technology everywhere around us. But to understand a little bit of this, it is important to understand last 50 years or 60 years. Let's just look at World War II. World War II was a very disruptive event. Right after World War II, around that time, US decided to set up all kinds of global institutions. UN, World Bank, NATO, IMF, WIPO, WTO. All of these organizations, to me, were set up with single objective of keeping US dominance. It was very clear. It worked well because then 250 million people could hog all of the world resources. In the process, democracy spread. Gandhiji was a very important instrument in decolonizing the world. In the process, capitalism also flourished. But right after World War II, as the decolonization started, large number of people became free in terms of their aspirations. Then comes Deng Xiaoping in China, and then comes Gorbachev in Soviet Union, and all of a sudden you got 3 billion more people with the same aspirations that America and little part of Europe had. Simultaneously, all of the most important technologies were developed essentially from defense budget in the US. Microprocessor, transistor before that, laser, DNA, all kinds of genetic know-how, biotech, nanotech. Almost every important technological innovation in the last 70 years has had roots in America and also had roots in defense spending. Because of the roots in defense, a lot of these ideas could not be scaled for the rest of the world. I've been saying again for the last 25 years that best brains in the world are busy solving problems of the rich, who really don't have problems to solve. And as a result, problems of the poor really don't get the right kind of talent. Now that we have 3 billion more in the back of 300 million, all of a sudden new opportunities are emerging. Knowledge is being democratized, technology is becoming pervasive, and the world going forward is going to look very different from the world that we have created. 21st century is all about these three words: knowledge, technology, and innovations. I'll first talk about the general aspects and then maybe zero in on India at the end. Before coming here, we had a little discussion on universities, knowledge, future of education. So when I look at internet and the kind of knowledge and information available on the net, I believe if I had a kid today, I would never send that kid to school. Guaranteed. Because all there is to learn is already there. For learning today, you need three things: motivation, time, and content. Traditionally, teacher delivers content and creates content. When we think of education today, we automatically assume duster, blackboard, chalk, teacher, textbook, exam, grade, certificate. None of these things matter at all. I don't need teacher to create content, nor do I need teacher to deliver content. Because content is already created by best of the best, and it's available in multiple forms on the web. So what do I need teacher for? I need teacher more as a mentor. Can my uncle be my mentor? Can my parents be my mentor? Can my neighbor be my mentor? So the whole paradigm of education and learning is changing rapidly. You don't need to go to Harvard or Oxford or Delhi University really to learn something. You don't need to follow a pattern that somebody decided hundreds of years ago that it should take 4 years to get a degree. I don't know who decided it should take 4 years to get a degree, but the whole world follows it. Don't make sense anymore. Do I really need certificate to exit? Maybe I need certificate to enter in a job market. These are all the questions being asked because knowledge has a different meaning today. I don't need to remember anything. If I need a spelling of anything, I go on the web. I don't need dictionary. If I need to learn about medicine, I just go on the web. Any kind of information today is always available instantly 24 hours a day. Weirdest question that you have in your mind, you wake up at 2 in the morning, you go on the web and you get an answer. We just don't know how to use this knowledge. So knowledge is already there. Of course, new knowledge has to be created. Of course, there are people who are doing all kinds of research. But the knowledge that is already there is just so much that to run a normal life, I don't need to go anywhere. To get a normal job, I don't need anybody's help. If I'm motivated, and if I'm willing to spend time. Content is loaded. It is in this kind of environment that we need to look at the new world. Technology is all about problem solving. Science and technology frontiers are taking us into all kinds of new possibilities. Today, web and biotech, along with nanotech, materials and alternate energy, will create whole new world. The kind of possibilities that we see imagining future world are just mind-boggling. I was giving again earlier 2 examples, and I can give you probably 10. I know somebody who's looking at firefly, analyzing firefly to see what genetic material generates that kind of energy in a little bug like this. And then the idea is to inject that into trees, so trees would light up at night. There is another fellow looking at some kind of liquid solution that you give to a child when child is born. It will form a special lining in the stomach. No matter what you eat, it will make protein out of it. There are people saying, why do I take crude oil from underneath and refine it on the ground? Why can't I refine it right there and there by adding 1 bottle of something and 94 octane petrol will come out? I know of a friend who has designed a featherless chicken, because we kill about 1 billion chicken probably every, I don't know, maybe a week or day or 2 days. And the amount of feather that we generate in this world creates mountains and mountains of garbage. So can we really design a chicken without feather and have same food value? It's been done, already done. These are all wild ideas. No longer wild. It's all reality today. People are creating artificial eye. Today it costs $100,000. I have some Indian professor, he said, look, if you give me $5 million to start with, in $25 million, I can build that eye in India for $10,000. Can you imagine what it means to millions of blind people to have artificial eye? And this is not sort of science fiction. All of these kinds of things are possible with technology of tomorrow. I can assure you in next 20 years, there will not be any drivers. You'll just get into a car and start doing your work and program, and car will just take you wherever you're supposed to go. It's already there. Okay. What does it mean to millions of drivers? Cities would be smarter cities. These are some of the examples of disruptive technology. So you have some group of people looking at incremental change through technology to make little better product, little cheaper product. Another group of people are looking at generational change, disruptive way of doing things. And there is a lot of disruptive work going on today. And all of it relates to innovations. Biotech will have far-reaching implications on not only health, pharmaceuticals, but agriculture, fertilizers, processes, energy, you name it. I have a friend who is analyzing, why does this finger stop growing here? What is going on so that this finger says stop it? And can I change that and make this finger longer? All of these things are going on. This is what research is all about. Exploring frontiers that you had never thought of. Does it mean you are fighting nature? Perhaps. What is the idea of the nature? What was nature like before? Another fellow I know, he's trying to grow a tree that will grow 6 feet every day. I guarantee that many of these young people today would live to be 150. Because by the time they get into trouble, technology would be so far advanced. And if they had the money, they'll fix them. I always give my example. I had 2 quadruple bypasses, I have 4 stents, and I had cancer. I'm 71-year-old, I work 14 hours a day, every day, 7 days a week. Thanks to technology, thanks to science. These are the miracles that we take for granted. Yeah. And I've been just in phase. If I had been off phase by 10 years, you'd been dead long time ago. So you're just trying to be in sync. I'm losing some hair, so I'm hoping that by the time I lose, somebody will come up with some liquid you put in. It'll be all sort of, bushy hair. I know another fellow who is developing hair color. So when you color your hair today, you are coloring outside. But the hair is a tube. So at University of Los Angeles, a fellow is working on hair color inside the tube. So once you color once, it's lifelong. All of this is here. The key is, how do you scale it? How do you make it cost effective? And that's the next phase. So a lot of this innovation that is going on is going to change everybody's life. Now, it is no longer just for the top of the pyramid. Because a lot of people are focused on affordability, scalability, sustainability. If it is affordable, it will be scaled. If it is scaled, you will figure it out more on sustainability. I always give this example. I've been in telephone business for about 48 years. Per line cost of one telephone remained $1,000 a line for almost 30 years. We went from electromechanical to analog to digital. Added a lot of features, 200 features, but cost remained same. As a result, it took 110 years to get to billion phones. Then comes mobile phone. $1,000, it started with $2,000 a line. Then it became 1,000 and 500 and 200 and 100, and when it became $80, in 15 years we added 6 billion more phones. That is the power of affordability. So everything we do has to really take into consideration affordability, because then only you reach out to masses. Unfortunately, in this process of democratization, capitalism, free market economy, globalization, a lot of these ideas get hijacked by many. And true values really don't reach to large number of people. Like I talked about smart car, there'll be smart homes, there'll be smart schools. I can see a building where there is school, all kinds of equipment, no teacher. Kids just come in, learn something, go do whatever they want to do. Okay. This is not too far. I've been telling my friends in the US that if there is one major crisis coming up, and that is going to be the crisis in higher education. Because it doesn't make sense to spend $150,000 to get an MBA anymore. Because you can probably get it for 500. Okay. But these are the ideas people are not willing to challenge. Everybody wants to preserve status quo. Everybody wants to go back to what it was. And that's what is going on in the advanced countries today. They all want to go back to what it was. It's not possible to go back to what it was. You got to move forward. So you got to accept that Western world will continue to grow at 1 or 2%. And India and China, where power centers are shifting, will continue to grow at 8 or 10%. Because the population is young and increasing, where everywhere else population is decreasing and old. And there isn't much you can do about it. Okay. Unless and until Western world realizes that there is going to be a whole new paradigm in the 21st century because of technology, because of innovations, because of knowledge, they just cannot fix the problems. And I tell a lot of my friends in the Western world that don't try to fix something which is not fixable. So by pumping more money, creating this, creating that, you can't get there because the standards that you had set up, GDP, GNP, per capita income, foreign exchange reserve, don't mean anything anymore. You need to create new standards. You need to create new measurements. And we don't know what those new measurements are. So the Western model, mainly the American model based on consumption, that we all follow, is not scalable, sustainable, workable, desirable, reliable, dependable. What happens today is that during Thanksgiving or Christmas shopping, if American shopping numbers are good, everybody all over the world is very happy. People in China, India, Korea say, it's a great year. Why? Because Americans spend a lot of money. In the past, the world really produced goods and services only for US. And that's how you were measured. You produce goods for America, you had better foreign exchange reserve, so you were considered good. Don't make sense anymore. So we need new economics. The old economics doesn't work. I'm not an economist, so it's easy for me to say that. Okay. But I know that everything we do today is essentially obsolete. Everything. And I start from there. How do you get admission in school? How do you get a birth certificate? How do you get land record? How do you open a bank account? Everything we do is completely obsolete. I don't need to do it that way. There are better ways to do it. Are we prepared to do it? I don't know. Do I really need 3 copies of the certificate to apply for admission? Do I need gazetted officer to put a stamp in saying true copy? It just don't make sense. Okay. Many years ago in 80s, I went to open a bank account here. And I look a little weird anyway. So I'm waiting in a line and I just tell this fellow that, here is a check, I want to open a bank account. The fellow says, well, you have introduction from 2 people to open a bank account. I said, no. He said, then you can't open a bank account. I said, wait a minute. I should ask you who you are. Because I'm putting my money with you. You can't ask me who I am. What kind of system is this? So that fellow literally thought I was a madman. And he just threw me out of the line and he took the next guy. And I just didn't understand it. Because he's programmed to say, I'm the bank. I will decide. These things don't make sense. And everywhere I look around, I find we have 19th century mindset, 20th century processes, and 21st century technology and needs. And many times I talk to people and I really don't have anything to talk to them about because we are just not communicating. We are in different world. Okay. I mean, the conversation that goes on in social setup is totally meaningless. I never read newspapers. Never. I don't watch news. I do not see movies. At all. I have no interest in games. Okay. Because these things don't mean much to me. Not that this is not good. Not that it's bad. Because there is so much other interesting stuff going on in the world. Why would I waste my time in watching some game? I'd rather spend my time thinking about what's going on in the world. But I have to look at TV once in a while because my wife is watching. So she will go do something and come back and say, what happened? I have no idea. And she would say, but you're watching. I said, no, I'm just looking. That doesn't mean I know what's going on. And it's hard for her to understand that. She said, what do you mean you don't know? You've been looking at it for 15 minutes. I said, I have no idea what this thing is about. And whenever I watch her watching TV, and if it is Indian program, it is always about cricket, Bollywood and gossip. And nothing else. And somehow it is capturing for lots of people. They love it. And I just don't understand. Mainly because I find so many interesting things going on in so many different areas of technology, possibilities, future, inventions, opportunities. It's just mind-boggling. The world is changing right in front of our eyes and we don't even know. It is happening so very fast that all of a sudden we will wake up one day and say, wow, what happened? That's what happened here. We had 2 million phones 20 years ago. It used to take 15 years to get telephone connections. Today we have 900 million phones and we are a country of connected billion. And it happened in a short span of 20 years. Now I am saying that what is going to happen in the next 10 is going to be 10 times more powerful and important than what happened with telecom. Just watch. What is going to happen in next 10, 20 years is we are going to democratize information. We are spending $20 billion, 100,000 crores of public money in creating public information infrastructure. You never read about it in the papers, you never hear about it in the television news because nobody gets it, fortunately. If they got it, they'll confuse it. So we are creating massive infrastructure. This government has created RTI, Right to Information. Right to information gives you right, but there is no information. Because information is locked up in Nadawali file. How do you take this Nadawali file, open it up and digitize it? And then make it available to everybody. And when you begin to do these kinds of things, you will create a whole new system of accountability, transparency, all of that. And all of this is going on. Unfortunately, this government doesn't get credit. Look at the risk this government has taken in terms of RTI, knowledge network, knowledge commission, just some of the areas where I had an opportunity to work. And there are many other areas like that. I'm just giving you a glimpse of what I know a little bit about. We have created National Innovation Council. We are creating ecosystem for innovation in the country. We are encouraging young to innovate. We are creating funds. We are building clusters. We have announced already 10,000 scholarships, Education Ministry. All of this is really to create new future. But these things take time. Telecom took 20, this will take at least 25. Mainly because we are building a nation and not building a company. It is one thing to build a company, it's another thing to build a nation. Parameters are very different. Nation can be built by knowledge, technology, and innovation. But while you are doing it, very few people recognize that you are really building a nation. Because the product doesn't come out of the factory. You can't say I've reduced cost and productivity and efficiency has increased instantly. I do believe that we are living in very interesting and exciting time, even in India. From my perspective, India has 3 challenges. Disparity between rich and poor, urban, rural, educated, uneducated. Demography, 550 million young below age of 25. What are we going to do with them? How are we going to skill them, educate them, provide employment opportunities? And without technology, none of these things can be done today. Third, development. How do we expedite the process of modernization? So we are really focusing on democratization of information, innovation as a platform. And young will figure it out how to use this platform. Somebody was asking me, how will you train people for all of this? I said, don't even try. Build it, turn it loose to young people. They'll get it done. Have you ever seen a young guy reading a manual for these phones? Somebody gave me 3 months ago this BlackBerry phone, and I couldn't operate. And I'm supposed to be PhD in telecom guru and all that. I have no idea. So I went to someplace, a friend's house, and I had this 12-year-old kid. So I said, Sachin, figure it out how it works. So he goes and he comes back in 5 minutes. He says, uncle, this is how it works. I said, how did you know? He says, very simple. You do this and it works. I said, but why don't they write here that you do this? Okay. Now, how did he learn? I don't know. That is the future. India's future lies in young talent. Ignorance is a great asset. Don't try to learn too much. You'll complicate it. And I am bullish on India only because of two things. With all the confusion, all the negativity in the system, all kinds of people, cynicism, all that goes on in India. If you listen to a lot of these people, you feel that you don't want to get up tomorrow morning. But I see two great hopes. Technology, which include knowledge, innovation and all that, to solve the problems of tomorrow in a different way, and young talent. And I hope that they will lead us together into building new India. I know I can talk for 5 hours, so I want to quit. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Pitroda, for your very passionate, insightful, and tremendously enriching lecture. IILM has put together a collection of special lectures of all past awardees of the Global Thinker Award. For wider dissemination of these powerful thoughts and ideas, may I please request Mr. Pitroda and Dr. Tharoor to kindly release the compendium of lectures. May I now invite the Honorable Minister, Dr. Tharoor, to share his thoughts with us.
Well, first of all, what a wonderful, knowledgeable, inspiring and optimistic speech we just heard. I really want to thank Sam for it, and I'm going to invite you all to give him one more round of applause for what he had to say to us. A technocrat, an innovator, an entrepreneur, technology advisor, and above all else, a proud and patriotic Indian. For that is really how we've all known Sam over the years. As a technology advisor to the late Prime Minister, the Honorable Shri Rajiv Gandhi in the 80s, Sam single-handedly revolutionized the telecom sector in India. the ideas advanced by him and the institutions created by him have become an integral part of the story of modernizing India. You remember India before and after the establishment of STD booths, right? And these call offices, they mushroomed around the country. No one had ever seen them before, and yet no village was complete without one. No little town didn't have it. And this is all Sam, as the first chairman of the Telecom Commission. He played a key role in shaping modern India by propagating the widespread usage of technology in the development of our society. He helped revolutionize our development policies and philosophies, and he saw technology as a key to social change. He pioneered the development of the Center for the Development of Telematics, CDOT, which has become a globally recognized hub of telecom technology. This is very much in the Nehruvian tradition, and Pandit Nehru always emphasized the need to involve technology in various aspects of society, locally and globally. He set the tradition of every Prime Minister attending every session of the Indian Science Congress. That was Nehruji who started that. But what I think Sam was able to do is take this away from these rarefied conferences and university halls into the rural areas of India. He's actually been able to use technology to bridge the rural-urban gap and help harness the potential of our villages to the maximum. This connection is, I think, going to be the most lasting and the most influential of Sam's many contributions to our country, because the demographic dividend that we face is principally still in the rural areas, and we need to exploit it there and connect it. If we can connect, God knows, 600 million Indian villagers to the global village, think what we can do for ourselves and for the world, and Sam is getting us there. As chairman of India's National Knowledge Commission, he's developed policies that will help create knowledge capital. We've got this huge population, 65% under 35, 560 million under 25, as Sam said. All of this will actually need a solid knowledge base if it's going to be a significant and useful force in the world, rather than frustrated, unemployed people without a stake in our society, the kind of people who have been prey to the blandishments of the Maoists in so many of our districts. If we want to change that, it's Sam's approach that's going to work. And I'm proud that he's leading the effort in Kerala, in my home state, to create a knowledge city in my own constituency of Thiruvananthapuram. But as he said in his lecture, with knowledge comes innovation. India needs to be not just a consumer of technology and products that are largely conceived, designed and produced abroad. We need to produce them here. And that means innovation, that means becoming a significant player at the cutting edge of knowledge and wealth creation. The many global technological companies have R&D elements, or sometimes even R&D hubs in our country. Our domestic industry has to concentrate much more on R&D so as to emerge as one of the drivers of global innovation. A growth in R&D will also help attract more researchers to Indian universities, even if Sam is not so optimistic about the future of the universities. He's also chairman of the National Innovation Council, and in that capacity he's been driving efforts to develop strategies to boost innovation performance in the country. Now, if those weren't enough different hats, he's also chairman of the National Skill Development Council, in which he's talked about how to develop the skills of our youth through modern technology. Now, the fact is that we need skills, we need technology to uplift those at the proverbial bottom of the pyramid in order to help them be more employable. And that's why technology can be particularly used in creative ways. I think Sam, in order to be interesting to the audience, actually unwittingly gave us a fairly worrying, alarming picture that no politician would want to see painted. There he was saying that the cars wouldn't need drivers, the universities wouldn't need teachers, the publishers wouldn't need books because everything's on the internet. Sam, stop, we need employment. And the truth also is that I think that if we actually have all of these video conferences and online courses and so on, I would want to have a teacher in the classroom to help explain it to the students, help translate some of the American expressions, if it's an MIT professor or whatever, to somebody in rural Chhindwara. It might even require some translation of some terms and languages into a local language or a local dialect. So I would want to keep the teacher employed even while using the technology to bring sophisticated knowledge in. No, the teacher should be in the classroom. We'll fight about this separately. So, what I would like is one online course with Sam Pitroda sitting in Chicago and lecturing to a million students in India, but those million students would be in 100,000 classrooms, each of which will have a teacher. Otherwise, we will have an unemployment problem in this country also. But apart from that, and as for the drivers, I'll leave it to your imagination how we'll use them in these driverless cars. But the point I'm trying to make is we do need absolutely to use technology as Sam suggested, but we also need to marry it, I think, to the needs of the human beings for whom, as politicians, we're all responsible. And I think what Sam's doing with his public information infrastructure and innovations, this is really transforming the quality of our delivery systems through a broader and deeper use of technology. Because, you know, Professor and President Abdul Kalam used to speak about providing urban facilities in rural areas. It's actually a very good concept. Why should you have nothing but mass migration to the cities? If you're sitting somewhere in India answering phone calls from American consumers, what do they care whether you're sitting in Bombay, in a suburb of Delhi, or sitting in a village in the middle of Madhya Pradesh? It wouldn't matter to them. But it won't be possible to do because Bombay and the suburb of Delhi are the only places where you've got these connections so far. The day we have a serious broadband backbone in the country connecting every village, we can actually start bringing work to the villages that so far can only be done in the towns. And it could be a tremendously exciting future as well. So I want to embrace Sam's vision. I want to embrace his optimism, his enthusiasm for technology, and I want to marry it to the needs of the poor, the young, and of course the rural in our country. Sam has done more than anybody I can think of to transform the usage of technology in India. He's been one of the key innovative thinkers who've contributed tremendously to India and indeed to India's place in the global technological scene. He's also, by the way, got innumerable patents to his own name, which he hasn't talked about. And he's also pushed consistently for technology to reach places that have otherwise been untouched by it. So I was just truly delighted to be the chairman of the jury that selected Sam for this award. I assure you that none of the disclaimers I expressed in my own case 3 years ago apply to him. You can just look at that distinguished mane of white hair to know that there is a distinguished figure. You can think of his having created viable careers and lives for himself in both America and India to know how global he is, and you just had to listen to him today to realize what a wonderful thinker we have honored. So congratulations, Sam. You have given us pride. It's a matter of pride for all of us, I think, who care about the future of India, that he is with us and helping show us the way to the future, to that elusive 21st century that Rajiv Gandhi had hoped to bring us to. Sam is still there with that beacon light that he shone at that time, taking us forward, and I want to congratulate him on the award he's won today. Thank you all very much. Jai Hind.
Thank you, Dr. Tharoor, for your insightful observation and a perfect summary to such an inspiring lecture. Thank you. Mr. Pitroda and Dr. Tharoor have both agreed to take a few questions from the audience. May I request the questions to be kept short and the participants to introduce themselves before asking the question. While the audience formulates their questions, may I take the liberty of asking the first question?
Yes.
Unlike the US, sir, in India, institutes of higher education, businesses, and the government continue to work in their own silos. What, in your view, needs to be done to make them work together?
In general, we are not good collaborators. I am biased, so I'll say things a little differently. I find that we have very fragile self-esteem. Everybody is ready to be hurt. You don't say hello to me and say hello to Sashi. I won't talk to you for 3 days. I think collaboration requires very stable self-esteem. All modern work requires teamwork. and we are not good team players. It's a very serious problem because we do not have orchestra, we have solo players. You know, we have sitar and tabla, 3 guys playing something, but we don't have 200 people playing the same tune. That's not part of our culture. And I think modern work demands whole different skill set.
Audience questions? Can we,
Somebody has the mic.
we'll just get the mic to you, sir.
Yeah, I have a mic. May I?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
My name is Shyam Sharma. I am in the academics world. I'm a visiting faculty to different business schools. While listening to both of you and getting inspired and enthused by both of you, one thought came to my mind. What is going to be the impact on social values? So much of change is happening, and we keep criticizing the media and the speed of change, which is eroding our social values. I would like you to share with us your views on what is going to happen to social values in this change which is happening.
I'm probably not qualified to answer that question. I probably don't know enough about it. But I would say over a period of time, social values have changed anyway. What my father thought was right and wrong is very different from what I think is right and wrong. It's very different from my children thinking what is right and wrong, what is fair, what is unfair, what is proper, what is not proper, what is good, what is bad. Okay. So these things keep changing anyway. So who decides what is the right value? Fundamental values remain same, truth and absolute truth remain same. That doesn't change. Concern for human being, love for others, concern for minority. To me, these are fundamental values. Internet, no internet, don't change. Okay, sense of sacrifice. You look at Gandhian values in some different way, they remain same, very fundamental. Okay. Whether, you know, the value about what you like in the movie or what you don't like, irrelevant issue, really. That's how I see it. But then I'm not qualified. Okay. I'm not knowledgeable. Okay.
Shivani, you had a question there?
Good evening. I'm Shivani. I'm a faculty at ILM Gurgaon. So I want to ask you a question. You run such a successful business in the US. You hold close to about 100 patents worldwide. Yet you come back to India to share, serve, and give it back to the society here. So I want to know what keeps you going with so much passion.
I don't know. All I can tell you is that my father had 4th grade education. I was the first one in the family to go to college and get a degree. Yeah. I have 7 brothers and sisters. They are all in US. My parents died there. I think I found something interesting to do. That's all. I do it because it's interesting to do. Okay. And I made enough money to live comfortably. I'm not a billionaire, you know, but I'm okay. I'm not very rich, but I'm happy. I love every day, every minute, everybody I deal with. And I have a great life. I have a great family, great wife. I've been married to for 47 years, who allows me to do these crazy things. You know, great children, no complaints at all. Great friends. So how can you ask for a life like that? You know, I'm just lucky. So just enjoy it while it lasts. It may not last too long.
I think we have a question that side. Smita?
I'm Smita, faculty of ILM Lodi Road. My question is for Dr. Tharoor. Mr. Pitroda wants India to lead through knowledge, technology and innovation. Dr. Tharoor, you have researched and written a lot on India and the Indian way. Is India ready for this? Do Indians have a mindset for this?
Absolutely, absolutely. I think we actually are surprisingly innovative already in extraordinary constraints. I mean, the whole Indian notion of jugaad, right? I mean, the way in which people have patched together things. I mean, you've had people finding creative ways with very, very limited materials to find purpose-built solutions to their problems. That is innovation. And so I'd say that innovation is in our DNA. We have, for various reasons, not encouraged it sufficiently. And yes, we do have some cultural constraints of conformity, of perhaps almost oppression of original thinking, including in our educational system, where we've tended to emphasize far too much on rote learning, on preparing the right answers to the examinations and not of thinking for ourselves. But I think while both coexist in our society, there is fertile ground in our culture for innovation. We just need to liberate it and encourage it. And having someone like Sam as an evangelist for it is fabulous. I think it's going to lead us in the right direction. The government, by the way, has bought into this also. I mean, one of the many pending bills that our dysfunctional parliament has not passed is one that would set up 14 universities just for research and innovation, and would be in the private sector, in the public sector, or in PPP mode, whatever. But we are really open now to giving it a national priority, and the PM has even announced that he'd like to double the percentage of GDP being spent on research and development in this country. So we are heading in the direction that Sam wants us to, and we hope very much to continue that way and with redoubled energy in the years to come.
Can I add to that? I would say we need to ask these questions not to people like us or you or me, to people below 20. They are ready, we are not ready. So those who have voice in the system are not ready. Those who do not have voice in the system are ready, because they are the customer. Okay? But we are never talking to our customer. No? How many people have asked kid about their school? Do you really like your teacher? Do you want to go to school? Are you learning the things you want to learn? Are you learning more from outside school or inside school? You ask them and they'll tell you. But as parents, you will not appreciate that. You'll say, oh, you don't know anything. I always tell young kids that there are two people you should never listen to, parents and teacher. Mainly because they just don't know. I mean, their experiences are very different. You know, I used to have this argument with my wife all the time when my kids were growing up. You know, I have two kids. And I never asked them what study, I never asked them what course you have taken, what class you are in, what grade did you make, or when did you come home. Never at all. Okay? Just love them. And they'll figure it out. My wife would be very different. Where did you go? When did you come home? What are you doing? Parents have a problem. Because they want to control. Children want to be liberated. So these questions should be asked to different group of people. If you ask us, we will say, oh, we are not ready. Why should we be ready? We want to preserve the old past. Because that's all we know. We don't know the future. It is their future. It's not our future. We are done anyway. So that's how I see the world. Okay.
I think we had a question at the back there, and there's one question Ambassador Vora wants to ask.
From CET ILM. So prior to 2000, there were about 20-50 odd engineering colleges in or higher education institute in India, sir. Today there are more than 400 engineering colleges, UP alone, sir. And at that time, about 20,000 students are passing out annually. Today, more than, if you take entire India, more than I think 10 to 15 million people are passing out every year. And
not 15 million.
Maybe 10 million, 5 million.
I can give you the exact numbers. And at the time of independence, we had 30 universities.
College, yeah.
Oh, engineering specifically. I beg your pardon. The entire higher education system, we have 20 million a year. So we couldn't have 15 million coming out of engineering colleges. That's not possible.
Okay. So whatever it is, I said that the overall figure has gone more than 10-20 times, sir, what it was prior to 20,000. My figure, and McKinsey's study of McKinsey says that only one student out of 4 who is employable. And there is a shortage of, still there is so many people passing out from the institute, but still there is a shortage. Industry finds that they are not finding the right
teaching wrong stuff.
So what is the...
We are teaching wrong stuff. I mean, you are answering your own question.
So what is the solution I'm asking for it?
Teach right stuff. Oh, it's not rocket science.
You're teaching wrong stuff, so they can't get a job. Look, I have seen engineering graduates in this country can't write 2 sentences, can't read a paragraph, can't comprehend. Okay, what good is that engineering education? So we have to teach them right stuff. You can't blame poor kid. Okay, that's the problem. There is job market. I was talking to, who was that, 3-4 days ago, said 1100 kids were interviewed, 1100, and they found 3 qualified people they hired. Can you imagine that? But that's the way it is. What do you do? But everybody goes to engineering college because that's the only thing to do.
May I? My name is Deepak Vora, Ambassador and Special Advisor to the Prime Minister of Guinea-Bissau in West Africa.
That is,
you haven't heard of it.
West Africa. What happened to South Sudan?
yeah.
I'm advisor to the President, but at the moment I'm advisor to the Prime Minister of Guinea-Bissau. Dr. Pitroda, I had the privilege of working with you for 2 years, and you taught me to challenge conventional wisdom and to stand every argument on its head. May I use that now to challenge what you
are
have
entitled
said?
to.
Thank you. Dr. Pitroda, for the last 250 years, 5% of the world's population has been in the driver's seat and 95% have followed in the poor countries. It's very nice to talk of featherless chickens, driverless cars and glowing trees. But in the country where I serve, with electricity 5 hours a week, 42 of the 49 sub-Saharan African countries are net food importers, despite the fact that they have enough land, enough people, and more than adequate water. Sir, I need compassionate technology. I don't want to go into technology oriented towards the foibles of the rich. I want it for the needs of the poor. Your comment, sir.
In last 20 years, world has been able to get billion people out of poverty. 700 million of those came out of poverty in China. Next 20 years is the challenge in India. We must get 500 million people out of poverty in the next 20 years in India. It can be done in probably 10. Our focus in India is on the bottom of the economic pyramid. All our innovations, all our efforts in science and technology is going towards bottom of the economic pyramid. Solutions which are affordable, scalable, sustainable. Today technology is all there. What is lacking is the human capital. We can't find qualified people, I'm telling you. With all the brains, can't find 20 good software people. With all the great software experts. Yeah. It is a problem not only in this country, it's a problem all over the world. Because technology has moved so fast and so far ahead that people are not equipped to handle it. Africa's problem is same. So first it was Asia, Japan and all. Now it is India, China, then it will be Africa. Everybody lined up. It will happen in Africa. But it's going to happen here first. And if Africa has something to learn from it, great. We will get this world out of poverty in next 25 years. Based on technology, based on my understanding, I am convinced there will be enough water, enough food, enough energy for everybody, 10 billion people. Guaranteed it will happen. Some fast, some slow, some will have little less than you and I think. But this world will have 10 billion people and everybody would have enough. Enough is whatever you call enough. Can you imagine, just about 25 years ago, people in the world used to say, or maybe 30 years ago, that India is a basket case. How will India feed 600 million people? India is feeding 1.3 billion and as India has surplus food. And India is not very productive in agriculture, by the way. Okay? If India was productive in agriculture, if India agriculture was growing at 8%, my God, you will have so much food you wouldn't know where to put. That is technology. And I believe in it. Okay?
I think we should close at that. Thank you very much. Thanks, sir. On behalf of ILM, I thank our distinguished guests, Mr. Pitroda, Dr. Tharoor, and all of you for making this evening truly memorable. Thank you very much. May I request all guests to please rise for the national anthem.
भारत भाग्य विधाता
पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा
द्राविड़ उत्कल बंगा
विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा
उच्छल जलधि तरंग तव शुभ नाम जय तब शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा
जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे
भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Go back 3 years and find out if there's a place to sign it. Where did you sign it? Is there a place? Vikas, have you got one? Good. Looks good? Thank you.